I got a knife.
Hi, welcome to my Squishmallow Corner.
So Fan has been telling me that he's been really craving pasta aglio e olio. I hope I'm saying it correctly. So I'm gonna do my own take on it because I would not claim to know how it's properly made or the ability to follow any recipes.
I've been wanting to talk to you about something very personal today that I believe will be personal to a lot of you as well. Let's talk about neurodiversity and how to live a good life being neurodivergent, and the two common extremes that I've experienced and that I believe a lot of people go through.
Boiling some water. Well, I'm actually gonna try to do some sort of like parsley pesto thing. We'll see how it goes.
The first extreme, and that many people will probably think of as the ableist approach, when people tell neurodivergent people to just turn it off, be normal. At most, neurodivergent people can fake being normal. We call it masking. But the second thing is believing that you can never change anything about you and you're perfect the way you are.
Usually when there's two really popular things, like in society or online, they're usually both wrong, but also usually both kind of have a point. I firmly believe that when there's two very popular things in society or online, like how those became kind of the same thing, usually the truth lies somewhere in the middle or at an alternative place on the side.
Trying to just turn off being neurodivergent usually doesn't work. Maybe with exemption for ADHD medication. I never tried it, by the way, so I can't attest to whether or not that's a good idea. I really don't want to not have ADHD. I love my ADHD. It's a huge part of what makes me so creative. I don't believe that you should try to cancel or turn off your neurodiversity or even in general see it as a bad thing. I think neurodiversity is essentially just saying my brain works in a different setting.
If you believe that all neurodivergent people can just fix themselves, no. If you are neurodivergent and you believe that you're not capable of anything either, or that your life is, bound to be an endless struggle, anything you struggle with is the fault of the rich or big systems or pharma or anything like that, I don't think that's very useful either.
It's a different setting of you, of being a human being.
Now you're alive.
I'm alive. I'm just filming in my Squishmallow Corner.
Oh, that's adorable.
He's cute,
That's
right?
beautiful. Mine was great too.
Thank you.
Brady.
Alright.
Love you.
I love you. Say you have a trait that you're having conflicts around. For example, maybe you're a dreamy kid and you're having issues concentrating in school. Maybe you're autistic and you need a consistent routine, but you have a friend that really likes going on spontaneous adventures.
So I believe the truth is you gotta take into account your neurodiversity in your life and shape your life around what you're naturally good at and figure out how to mitigate the expectations and the behaviors around it. Figure out if there's anything you can improve, figure out how to switch from systems that you're currently in if they're harmful or don't fit your neurodiversity.
Maybe you're a person who tends to have sort of breakdowns, panic attacks. I used to have those a lot. For a very long time, endless amounts of people try to offer me ways to have consistent habits and routines, and that just did not work. None of that ever worked. I've tried so much and I felt so broken. I work on the fuel of passion.
Anyone who believes that you can just fix it, that kind of just is the cause for a lot of masking. And I get masked. I've had to mask many times in my life as well. Try to be more social than I am or behave in ways that are not my natural go-to when it comes to body language, voice, etc.
And I used to be hypersensitive. And there was a time in my life that I pushed away that sensitivity, tried my best to push through. That didn't work. And then there was a time in my life in which I overcompensated. I became hypersensitive. And anytime that someone would tell me to try and suck it up, carry through situations, not let myself break down every time something small happens or triggers me, I would be like, nah, that's ableist.
I think that all or most neurodivergent people are capable of living the life that they want to live. And I know that pisses a lot of people off because they really, really want to blame everything on the society, the systems, etc. And there's a lot of truth in that. There's a lot of wrong in society when it comes to how society reacts to neurodivergent people. There's a lot of wrong in most systems because they were made for neurotypicals. But that doesn't mean you can figure out your own way to live the best life you can live. I've done that by not finishing high school, moving countries, traveling the world, making content, making jewelry, running multiple businesses. I figured out ways to leave the systems that were not healthy for me and create systems, not even systems, honestly, my life is so random, but just create a lifestyle and a workflow that works for me.
Then I found a much healthier middle point that I honestly don't even know if I could call it a middle point, because it doesn't really have much of either. It's more like a third option.
There's been a lot of situations that I got into loops with myself, that if I'm trying to make myself work when I at first couldn't focus, then it's ableist or something, because I'm telling myself to resist natural tendencies. That's been really toxic for me. I got into a lot of mental loops that I just didn't know how to come out of. I essentially trapped myself. I would tell myself that I'm incapable and that I shouldn't expect myself to be capable. Now this thing deserves a break from Fan. Let's make some sort of parsley pesto or whatever it is. I have no idea what I'm making, but that's the freedom that I allow myself in life to fuck around and find out.
I live with NVLD, ADHD, and then a myriad of trauma-related things, and OCD. OCD is by far the most intense thing I live with. NVLD, that's a non-verbal learning disability, which is a very misleading name, by the way. It doesn't mean I have a verbal issue, it means the opposite. It means I have a visual issue. It's not a verbal learning disability. Essentially, I'm pretty good with words and languages, etc. But put a map in front of me and sorry, I guess it's trauma. Yeah, because it makes me freeze a bit.
Focus for me, I thought always that was something that I needed to find a system for, fix. Until I realized that actually naturally I just overfixate. Whenever I let myself have a passion for something, I don't actually need to systematically figure out how to frame it into a schedule or anything. I just gotta make sure I get my goals accomplished.
There's been so many times, both with private teachers, school teachers, they would look at a geometry problem in my homework and they would look at a page and I would get it for a moment, but then I would look away for a second. I'd look back at the page and I had no idea. Imagine you can read a word and then the moment you look away and you look back, you cannot read it anymore. And so many times the teachers kind of just froze. In other times they yelled at me.
In all of my years of trying out systems to work for my neurodiversity, none have stuck. Other than not even a system, but just the idea of just writing down my goals for the next 2 weeks by categories, sometimes by importance, not always even that. You've probably been getting a lot of people who told you you're inherently messed up or wrong or something like that because you're neurodivergent. And you've probably also been getting a lot of people who have been telling you that you're perfect the way that you are. I don't believe that there is such a thing as being perfect the way you are. I believe that it's always good to try and improve, to grow as people.
And I write books and poetry and excel in a lot of other stuff, but then the moment they show me a map, I have no idea what's going on. And I find it much easier to just communicate to people that have NVLD.
But if you're gonna try to grow from a place of telling yourself that there's something essentially wrong with you just because you're neurodivergent, you're gonna miss on so many of the natural traits you have. Whoa. Oh goddammit, that fell everywhere. You're gonna miss on a lot of those natural traits that you have that neurotypicals don't naturally have and that make you a much more unique thinker. I don't know how much though. I'm gonna find out. Salmon water. It's so good. Like this mixed with salt has the texture and feeling exactly like Parmesan. Put some salt in it. Let's go.
Understand that if they give me directions, I will get lost. Anything related to body language, because it's the same 3D space issue. A lot of times they would try to give me a high five and I would stare at the hand until I realized. Sometimes they would point at something and I have no idea what they point at. It used to be embarrassing and sad and distressing until I knew it was NVLD, and when I accepted it, it started being funny. Like now it's like a quirk. When I used to live in London, sometimes I would take an Uber home and Fenrir would look at me from the window, and if the Uber dropped me off in a slightly different spot than usual, in a slightly different area, say a few meters across from the house, I would often start walking the wrong direction. Most people seem to sort of have pathways in their brain. I don't know how, because I just don't have that. It's like my brain is just lacking that. But it overcompensates in other things, and brains tend to do that. It overcompensates in language. I've taught myself English.
That is not connected to the electricity. Probably a problem. Wait, it is connected. Why is it not working? Is there a button or something? Babe! How does it work? The thing. Do I need to press on something? Because I'm turning it around and not doing anything. Is that why?
Yeah, just a little click of the button. I wonder what you're making. Maybe add a touch of water? I don't know.
Did you break it again?
I just got here.
Are we sure about water?
No?
Yeah, like the bottom of it is cut.
Yeah.
I always wrote poetry since I was about 4. And then there's other neurodiversities. More common one, maybe the most common one, I think, is gonna be ADHD. I do believe most of my audience has ADHD. It just so happens, I mean, we see it in the Discord. It just so happens that, at least in my experience, most very creative, very wild, nerdy, geeky, funny people tend to have ADHD. We tend to also have the negatives of sometimes being unable to concentrate when we want to. We tend to also be a little bit more impulsive than other people and have a little less stable habits. It's even trickier for people with autism and ADHD, which is fun rare, because his ADHD would want to break free of any habit and want to do new things, whilst his autism wants consistent habits, and it's a constant place of friction.
It's nice, but why is it bitter? Would lemon help? Oh, you know what? Actually, I've seen this done in some recipes. It's Ceylon, it's date syrup. I'm gonna put like just a touch.
I've been having the struggle with myself and with people in my close environments who are also neurodivergent when it comes to when is it okay to motivate myself and others to change certain habits or just ways of acting, behaving, thinking. When is it okay to, do self-improvement, want to change, improve, grow, and when to accept things as they are.
Holy shit, that worked. I'm actually shocked. That is no longer bitter. Or like a lot less bitter.
But I believe in doing it your own, very specific way. I think it's really important that you make your own way to self-improvement.
Ben really loves lemon in sauces. I'm less a fan, but I'm making it also for him, so let's try. Oh no! Seeds fell in. I don't know what I'm doing, but it comes out nicely usually. I get why Fen likes this. This is fun. Pasta. I completely forgot that I put water to boil earlier. While I wait for the pasta to boil, I'm gonna make a small side salad. I like to chop things finely. Squeezy, squeezy, squeezy. No! Seed! Rude. Put my pasta in the pot.
I've changed my life completely to allow my neurodiversity to absolutely bloom. I wake up every day and I choose what I want to do, which craft, knowing that all of those crafts have become businesses. My jewelry, my music, my content creation, all of them have become businesses. That is a huge privilege, but it's also something that I've worked really, really hard to build for many, many years, having extreme distress and endless panic attacks. I've changed, I've grown, and if I would have told myself that I'm just wrong and there's something just bad with me and I need to turn it off, I don't know if I would have survived. But also, if I would have told myself that I don't need to change a thing and I'm perfect, I don't think I would have ever improved or grown as a person.
I organized the table, all cute. Salad. I know it doesn't look that great, but it's really, really tasty. That's the sauce. That's Fans.
Babe, come eat! I made it cute.
Got it for
This is beautiful. Looks delicious too.
Okay, try it.
Wow.
It's good?
That was really good.
It's so much random stuff.
I love it even more.
Alright, my turn.
Pretty damn good.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty good.
Are you gonna hate me for wanting to put pepper on this?
What's wrong with you? I hate pepper.